Yes, hey guys, how are you? How is everything? Okay, so today we're going to be trying to do something like this. Let me hope my audio is good. Let me just reduce the music a bit. Set up everything. Yeah, I saw this image, amazing image by P.A. Giorgio Di Bottoli. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, but yeah, give me a follow, give him a like. It's a nice piece, very very inspired. I want to use it as inspiration to do something like this. We have most of the assets. We have made them in previous videos, like these columns and a piece like this. So yeah, and the amazing thing is that he used Blender as well and 3ds Max, but yeah, we're going to create something, not exactly this, but something similar, just using this as inspiration. Hello, Rizo AR. So let's see how we can do that. And before we get into it, let me first do some quick promotions that helps us stay in this channel. So the first add-on that I'm going to be promoting today is Pure Sky add-on, which is an amazing add-on for creating sky backgrounds. You can even use it to create atmospheric clouds and a lot of other things. You can see just the link is provided in the chat for you to check it out, and it would be amazing for making clouds like this, as it creates a lot of realistic clouds. So if you want to check it out, and if you want to get it, the link is going to be in the description. You can also take a look at it and read about it just to see how it works. The other add-on I want to promote is the tree vegetation add-on, which is an add-on we're going to be using for this piece, because it contains a lot of vegetation that we could use. Comes packed with a lot of assets and a lot of functionality that we might want to use. Another add-on I'm going to be promoting today and that we are going to be using is the tree and grass library botanic add-on. It also works as the same as the other one, but with a few different features. So if you want to get it, you can also get it for this. So let's dive in and just see what we can do. So great. Okay, hello Mohammed Moh, how are you doing? Okay, I think we can start by creating a small island like this, and I'm just going to start with a plane, scale it up, turn on random colors here, just also go to sculpt mode and turn on Dino Topo. Where is that Dino Topo, and just sculpt a surface and a simple island like that. And let me bring this, let me see, yeah, something like this, just simple. Now we can do something like that. You don't even need to use too much resolution for this. Something like that is enough, just so we have a starting point. So I'm going to set up my camera and just push this 25, maybe use a 25 millimeter lens. Have this here, something like that. Let me see. Okay. Something like that, and we are good. So if you're a Patreon, you should be able to download my ROM asset pack, which comes with a lot of Roman buildings or ROM buildings, columns, a lot of pieces, and yeah, so you can either use the asset browser that comes built in with Blender, or just let me grab it here. Asset browser, ROM buildings. You can see it contains a few Roman buildings, so you can use that to just drag buildings into the scene. But the issue with the asset browser, it doesn't support collections just yet, so that's why you see I'm going to be using my own asset browser. So these are not the only assets in the Roman buildings pack that you get as a Patreon, and the reason for that is because the Blender asset browser doesn't support collections, which are where some of the buildings are collections. So if you want to get the asset, this Roman buildings collection, let me reduce this music a bit. If you want to get the Roman buildings collection, you can just become a Patreon. A link is in the chat. Okay, let me just use my asset library, search for ROM, and I should be able to find some nice buildings to use. And I think medieval. I'm not sure if all the buildings are here, so let me just go to that specific asset file. So let me see. Link and link. And go to my medieval collection, clear search. I want to start placing the different buildings. There should be a button to take you to open the original file, but I think I removed it for some reason. Okay, let's jump in and start. What is your Instagram? My Instagram is Ismail's VFX. So if you search for Ismail's VFX, you should be able to find that. You should be able to find me. I want to get a proper building that we could use here. There is this. Let's go to cycles. Scale this down. So you can see how the building looks. Let me use the sky texture. Change this to change the ozone layer to make the sky look more bluish. Maybe turn on denoising. And let me also grab a grass material. Sorry, it's you can use exclamation mark socials, and that should exclamation mark socials, and that should give you my Instagram. Let me see. All right, let me just open up my models. Yeah, is this 2022 Roman buildings park? Just so you can, just to show you the different buildings that I have in there. And I think I might have forgotten to add some of the buildings in my asset library. So let me also do that. Yeah, so you can see all the buildings here. And I think I want to use this here. Let's see, which one should we use? We can use this. We can use this here. So let me go to the asset library. Make sure that I'm in the medieval collection. trying to get the specific building I want to use. So like I said, you can get all these buildings if you are a Patreon. Yeah, so this here. So let me just add that. First turn off some of these. Okay, I can go back to my original here. And just search for the same building that I've just added. So it's this. And I don't think my PC can handle these projects being open together. So let me just see. Did you create them yourself? Yes, I did create them myself. And I created some of them. I created live on streams. So there are streams. I have a stream app where you can watch me make that. So let me just. I think we can have this somewhere there. I don't want this plane to be there, so let me first make this editable so I can get rid of that. And now what I can do is go back to the sculpting tool and start sculpting this area, so that, let me go back to sculpting, Dino Topo. I want to make the surface where this is to be flat, so I'll come in here just to make it blend with the surface a bit better. So, and increase the brush size. And actually, I want this area to be kind of like a cliff. So because I want to have water around this area. So we want this area to be like a cliff. Now we can use a rock material for this area as well, so make it really look like a cliff. So and just re-layer this. Maybe this here can be some sort of road. So yeah, something like that. We can have this. I want my camera to be around here. call it Roman building. Let's go back. Here. Let me close this project. It's a bit too heavy. Okay, you can already see how this is going to be the focus, and I think can either bring the camera forward, yeah, something like that. And let's work on the material for this. For this now, I'll go to the shading tab, and I think I can create a new material. Let me grab an image texture here. Now let me just create, I think I have a rock material, so let me grab that from the asset library. Rock. I can create a new PBR material. Resources. You see PBRs, ground and rocks. I want to find a rock material. Maybe something like this could work. Let me see. Okay. That should set up everything for me. Just going to UV unwrap this. Like that, add some mapping to this. Just like that. Then we want the top surface to have a different material. So let me grab a grass material. So resources, let me search for some grass. Actually, I can just use my search feature in the asset library. I can search for grass, and it should bring me some grass image. We are going to create a new material that uses this grass. Just something like that. And we want the grass, we want a mask, so we want to use the input geometry feature, and we can use the separate XY. I'm using my quick functions add-on, which uses the shortcut Shift Q, and that gives you access to these nodes much easily. So separate the normal direction. So we want mostly the top facing angles. The top facing or the top faces. The faces facing up. I think I can also, let's try using a math node, and okay, let me see what other nodes do we have. If I use a vector node and I use the and use the, is it the dot product? No. I want separate the X. Let's see. I want the top face, the normals facing up, which is basically nearly all the faces. But if we use a greater than option, you can see we can determine where the rocks are going to be. So all the faces that are facing up can have the grass material. So I can extend this something like that. Now we can blend these two nodes and use this as the mask. And we should be able to have blended other grass with the rocks. You can see how that looks. So anywhere, and I think the rocks look good. And so we can add more like that. But I think it's okay. So then here, actually, I want other faces to let me just add water here, because this is supposed to be a lake. So something like this. And for the lake, extrude down, shift N. Now let's create some water and start with a new material. Can start a new material and grab a noise texture. Connect that to the bump. Connect that to the bump. Where is the bump? Yeah, to the bump. Now if you look at this, that's the water. Now we can make sure that this has a transmission, and the roughness is also really low. Now the strength can be brought down. I'll bring back. Yeah. So that's our water. Let's go to cycles and see how this looks. And another thing I could do is instead of using, because right now we're using UV mapping, instead of using UV mapping, let's just use object mapping. It's going to be much easier to, let me change this to box. Same here. Let's use object mapping, box. So that means that we have to increase the scale of the noise quite significantly. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. I do the same for the grass. Another thing we could do for the grass is we can also grab a noise texture. So Shift Q, noise, like this. And it can also use object mapping. Just have some large noise like that, blend it with this, and just use this other factor that basically we want to vary to make the grass look a bit colored, not monocolor like that. We can also try, let me see. Yeah, we can also play with the colors here a bit. So let me go to my quick functions, use custom curves, just play with the colors to make the render look appealing. Now I think we can play with the contrast here. Can use a medium contrast, play with the exposure, and you can already see some major differences there. And let's also play with the sky a bit. I think we can do 45 for the rotation. Let's try negative 45. So that Blender just crashed. What GPU do you have for rendering? I'm using a 1050. You can also use exclamation mark specs if you want to see what specs I'm using. Okay, let's go back here, change the sky rotation to negative 45. Let's try 90. Seems we can't really adjust the sun without Blender crashing. So let's not do that. I'm waiting for 2070 Ti for a month. You have been waiting it for a month. Is it? Are they also not available? Are they not very? Let me first bring back the reference image. Where is my reference image? Okay, I think I lost the reference image. Let me bring this back, pin it. Okay. Okay, something like that. And I think another thing I could do is grab this, just put it behind. Or what we can do is I'll go back to sculpt mode. Let me see. This is our terrain. We can go back to sculpt mode. Make sure we are using Dino Topo, like so. And since we are using object mapping, you can see the materials simply update accordingly as well, which is super nice. So I want a hill somewhere here, like that. And also this seems to, looks like it's hanging in the air. So let's fix that. Just go back to sculpt mode. Okay, Blender is crashing again. This is like the 8th time. Let me make sure I'm saving a backup copy. Okay. Sculpt. You need a new graphics card then? Yeah, I really do. I need like a 1080. I know this is a stable version. It's just that my PC can't really, seems it can't handle all the things I'm doing right now because I'm streaming while working in Blender, which is also heavy. Okay, need to have like a cliff here. And maybe we can even add in, make it like a cave in some way. So let's try that. Just make some kind of cave. Now let me just make these the strength of the, okay, that's too much. Let's see. Just to make the scene more interesting. Do visual, you need a 3080. 1080 is old. 3080s are rare. At least from where I am, they're hard to come by. I do visualization, bring in a lot of money. I like what kind of visualization, because that doesn't really say much. Okay, go back to this. Okay. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. I'll introduce new models 3050 and also crypto crashed, and the prices should lower soon. Yeah, but crypto can always go back up. Yeah, I can't really base much on that. Okay, let me play with the colors even more, maybe make them a bit warm. Something like that. Yeah. Let me change, try rotating this some more and see. I think that's looking much better. I bring the sky a bit down, or bring it up. Yeah, something like that. Doesn't your work bring you money? It does bring me money, but I'm not spending it all in one place. So uh, I do run a few other things that take up money really quick. Okay, let me go back here. Rock, and I rarely run into this issue where my RAM is not enough. So that's why you see I don't really worry too much about it. Okay, let's add in some. Let me see. What could we add in? Let me look for more medieval buildings. Graphics card, are you Joy? Ah. You must also be rich, if because that's a very expensive hobby if I take them as a hobby. Let me grab this. Just add in a few extra details, I think. Let me remove this mirror. You're jobless? That's unfortunate, but I think, yeah, so what kind of jobs are you looking for? Have you tried to look for? Adding more pieces here. Let's see. Again, we can come back here, do some sculpting. Hello, Unity Tricks. How are you? And how is Unity? Yeah, I saw a new Unity demo. I think they bought. There is some company they bought that specializes in making human faces, human characters. They're kind of trying to compete with MetaHuman, I think, for Unreal Engine, which is nice, because more awesome tools for artists, which is always a good thing. Just dropped in to say thank you for what you do. I have learned a lot from your videos. Oh, thank you, the Remedica. Thank you. And yeah, guys, if you are new here and you like the stream, hit a like. Hit the like button. Really helps out a lot. Really does help out a lot. Okay, let's see. What else can we add? We have a lot of Roman buildings, so let's add them. I have these smaller buildings, and I think we're going to add some kind of dock somewhere. Let's go back here. Let me see, what do I have here? Architecture is hard to find job here. Ah, you're in architecture. Like, so Mohammed, where exactly do you live? Because I think architecture is hard. It's hard to find architecture jobs anywhere. So I just have to be really good at what you do. Let me see, do I have a boat? I have a few boats, but I think most of them are not medieval, I think, but this could work here. You can add a few of these. Quite big, that's no problem. That's not a problem. Just Egypt. Ah, northern neighbor. Yeah, it's also hard to get jobs here. Actually, I think your market might even be better than here. Hello, Miko Danek. How are you? And glad to see you. Just adding some boats, kind of make it a dock. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Let me see, if we turn off these colors, it looks a bit dull, but makes this a bit brighter. And I think I would do is just make the sky more bluish. Looking good, thank you. And I think since this is a medieval piece, we can also add in this cut. And I think we can also create like a platform. So let me make one here. In my country, 23 cities are being built and I can't find a single job. Wow. Oh, that's like, what part of the industry are you in? Like, you said you're an architect, but like, I think the architecture world is a bit broad. Like, so, why do you think it's hard to find a job? Is it, I don't know, because I've never tried to look for a job that way in the architecture field, so I'm not really sure. Let me add a displacement modifier to this. Displacement. Let's Let's make sure that this is below that. So I want to create a dock, and this should use UV map. Let me find a wood material. What do you get? Where do you get free models? Is it Sketchfab? No, these models I make them myself. But you can, if you're a patron, you can also request them, and I'll send them to you. Most architecture work is technical office. Yeah. I understand what you mean. Maybe I don't. Let me make this. Yeah, this has to be. Come to this. I don't want this to be too dark, so let's make it like that. Also make sure that I am Max user since last 10 years, wanted to learn character animation for fun. What do you think about best software to choose for character animation between Max or Blender? Well, I think Max is not really known for its animation. It's known for archviz and modeling, but I don't see many people use it for animation. It's mostly Maya or Blender, so yeah. So that's going to be our dock. Let me use this material then. You use 3ds Max for archviz? Yeah, I think most people use it for archviz. A lot of people use it for archviz. So you're not alone in that. Just add these. Yeah, so we have something like that. Maybe even something like that. And that's going to be our dock. Can increase the solidify just a bit. And then just have these let's see. Let's try using an HRI image. So let me go back here, world, and I'm going to blend it with the background. So let me grab a texture, image texture. Let me actually just import it using this. Actually, it should be an environment texture. Shift A, input environment texture. Just go to images. I think I can grab an HDRI like this. Why is this? Yeah, I really need to update my system because yeah, can't handle the projects anymore. I think this is the project. Okay, let's add more stuff. I think because I want to reduce the amount of sky we have in the scene. So let's see if I add this. Just add more stuff, more buildings. Let me add some columns. Yeah, let me also grab Let me bring copy some details from here. Hello, Burning Bright. How are you doing? This is getting quite heavy. Let me close this project. I'm doing great. The scene looks heavy. Yeah, it is heavy. It's quite heavy. Maybe an extended wood bridge with ropes and boats in water. Yeah, the boats are there. It's just that I think my render preview is too small for you to see, but let me first put this sky text and see. Maybe let me just make a larger boat here. The bridge is here. It's there, very small, but there. It's there. Let me just duplicate it so that we have it on this side as well. Just want to add this. You work really hard on those buildings. Yeah, they're quite detailed. See, even my PC is starting to struggle with that because it's a lot of polygons, a lot of textures. So my GPU has just crashed here. So let me switch to CPU and see. In 3ds Max, they would take days. Yeah, 3ds Max is not the best. Yeah, I've tried using 3ds Max, but I find it very slow when it comes to modeling. Okay, for some reason all my cycles has crashed. Doesn't seem to render anything. But, let me first set up this sky correctly and see. Down some screen space reflections, refractions, and I think I need to change this to a mirrorball and rotate these clouds. So maybe even scale them. Just bring this as the background color. Let me try lighting this up in EVNC. If it add some directional sky. I think I'm just going to blend this with this and just it took me 2 days to create a column of iconic order. Yeah, I think it also took me, yeah, I think it took about one day to do that. Because those columns have some amazing detail. Yes, reopen Blender here. What does the mirror ball do? Just make environment texture. So when you're creating an environment texture, there are different formats. There is a mirror ball, which is let me show you. These are used when you're creating HDRI images. So a mirror ball is exactly that. It's just a very shiny mirror, except it's not a disco ball like that. They're used for HDRI. Basically, it's a shiny mirror like this, and that's what the texturing tries to replicate. Yours was simple. Yeah, I think now it's starting to look populated. Added the clouds, but you know what? I really need a new PC. Because this is not enough anymore. So I'm going to tweak this a bit off stream. I give it a final render, and I'll post the results on Discord, as I think I'm starting to run into my computer limitations. Let me just use this as yeah, I'm going to give this a quick render. Just swap graphics card. I just find it much easier to just get a new PC completely. And I think I'll just give this because I'm trying to build a company, so I need another PC as well. So hello from Sri Lanka. Hello, Man Perry. Glad to see you. Hey, thank you for the Canadian dollars. Some money for your PC. Thank you, Henry D. I really appreciate that, and it's going to go to that exactly. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Let's play with the colors a bit. Since those don't really affect the maybe change the color of the water. New PC would be expensive. Yeah, it would be expensive for a good reason, because now this is, if I just swap out the card, I don't think it's going to be, it will make that much of a difference. Again, Henry D, thank you for that. Let me see, what else can we tweak? I think we need more building this side. Maybe let me just bring this. Let's do some PC shopping and see. Let me go to Amazon. The problem here is that what CPU do I have? I have a 1050. Let's look at some of these and see which one would be better. Now the issue is, so you can see this is a 1600 or nearly 700, it's actually 1700. But if I go to shipping details, you can see it ends up being nearly 2500, 2300 because of shipping and import fees. So that's quite expensive. And that would be, let me see, $8 million here. Don't buy Ryzen. Is this a Ryzen? And actually, so what's usually the difference between a Ryzen and an NVIDIA? Sorry, Ryzen is a maker of PC is not, it doesn't really make GPUs, does it? Because I'm thinking, yeah, it's using an NVIDIA RTX. My laptop opens Blender 2.3 minutes later. Wow. Ryzen will slow down your PC. Intel is better. Oh, Intel. So Ryzen makes processors. Okay. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with Ryzen hardware. So, of course, I'll be getting... this is AMD Ryzen. No, I want Intel because I understand the... So this I want an i7. And I think this is worse than what I have already. This is, okay, it uses a 2060 6GB. That looks good. NVMe 500GB, 8GB of RAM, i5. Shipping, it totals to this, and that is how much in our money here. Not bad, but let me see. This one is I buy Power Pro PC gaming desktop. Still a Ryzen. Let me just search for, gaming PC, because if it can handle games, it usually can handle Blender. I hate laptops. Let me see, Skytech. This is let me see, Ryzen. Let me just check here. I want Intel, NVIDIA. Can I check both NVIDIA and Intel? RTX series. Of course, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi should be included. Better get RTX card straight away so you don't have to upgrade so soon. Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, RTX. Let me see. Let me look at these. I don't think anything under 1000 is going to be that good. This is too expensive, especially if we add taxes and other things. It ends up in 3K. That's quite expensive. It's a 1070. How much is this in? That's expensive, but it would have been good. Anyway, I'm going to give this a quick render, and I'll be posting the image, the final image, on Discord. Let me see. So if you want to join us, join the Discord. It has Ryzen. Yeah, I'm going to continue. Okay, yeah, it has a Ryzen. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a Ryzen, not because I know how they function, but I don't really know how to compare them to NVIDIA PCs. I'm just more familiar with NVIDIA and Intel hardware. So I wouldn't get this. This is also, most of these are Ryzen for some reason. New Intel CPU are the best on the market. So this is still Ryzen. I thought I checked that. This is still Ryzen. I want an NVIDIA and Intel. is still NVMe 1060 Ti. I heard that 1060s are not as good as 1080s, though 1080s came out way earlier than these. My PC was like 20k with a 3080 and an i9. Wow, that yeah. So the issue here is that we don't have a port, so we are a landlocked country, so the taxes are quite heavy. I need larger VRAM. Do they even show it here? An i9 would be super expensive. It would be super expensive. Only 20k. Yeah, only 20k looks. That's how. So the Remedica. Which country are you from? Because that looks very, very cheap for what you're getting. 3080 i9. That seems a bit. That would be a very good deal. A 1050 has only 4 VRAM. Yeah, that's what I have. Let me see. 3080 VRAM. Let me see. Finland. So that's Europe. I guess it's much cheaper there. Yeah, because that 2K you wouldn't get anything good for 2K. You'll get something good, but it wouldn't be the same specs as you're saying. As you. Yeah, nice. This handles some scenes well, but let me actually show you my. So you can see it's an i5 8GB 10. Yeah, actually this is a 1060. The 1050 is in my laptop, but it performs worse than this. Worse than the desktop, so that's why you see I don't really use it. Hello Malaysian boy, how are you doing? Glad you're joining us. Let me see what. Let me actually get you the brand. I wanted to show you a picture of my PC better. Yeah. What else? Yeah, so another thing, yeah, I think I made off stream a few days ago. Let me show you if I can do that. Collection. Tempo. Now that I made on stream. Yeah, also recently made this tempo off stream, but the time lapse is going to be available on my second channel, which is Blender templates. Why is this not opening? Yeah, so I made this a few days ago. I think it came out nicely, but I also used the same ROM pack. Yeah, I am doing great lately. I have eaten a great chicken chop recently. Nice. You should have served some for us, man. Just telling us about how you ate a lot and not spare anything for us is just showing off, man. You should have spared some for us. Yeah, let me also add some columns here, but I want them to follow the curve. So what I'm going to do is let me grab a plane like this, give it an array like that, and then give it a shrink wrap, and target this so that this follows the surface like that. It's better if you get NVIDIA Quadro, and let me see how much that might be. Too expensive. Sounds quite expensive. Nice. Yeah, just one GPU, and it almost the price of my CPU. So nah, that's too expensive. Yes, I want to add these columns here, so let me, yeah, actually I don't need an array for this, just need one, and use a face instance on faces, just parent this to that, Control P to objects. That should get us those. You can scale them down. Just want to add some columns, but I want them to be facing up directly. So instead of using instances, let's just use a particle system. Here, particle system with just about 5 instances, sources, faces, no random order. Use modifier stack, and the render should be an object of the column, and the rotation, if we turn on advanced, the rotation should be and more professional. Yeah, but more expensive if you're talking about the Quadro. It's too expensive for me. Okay, now you can see we have some major columns, and if we want, we can. I really like your work. Thank you. We can sculpt. Let me bring back the dino topo, the bases here, so that these columns are not floating in air like that. Now I can even bring in some islands here. Let me just paint over this. Just have some small islands in the water. I think it would make the scene more interesting. Shade smooth. You know, I think Cycles is just going to be very hard for us to work with. Let's switch to Eevee and see if we can get some good results. So if we're using Eevee, we're going to have to do a few things differently. Change the sky to a different sky. Okay. Now we can play with the, let me make the ambient occlusion more pronounced, turn on some bloom, screen space reflections, and give this Some screen space refractions as well. Now I want the water to be more reflective. And I think we can add also a volume. And turn on volumetric shadows. Go back to the world. Let me see. I think we need a very large building block, maybe like there. To cut off some of that light, just diffuse it even further. Have some more volumetric shadows. think I can even just have the camera around here. Hello, Nick Studios. How are you? If you work in cinema history, what do you mean? Are you asking if I work in cinema history? If you work in cinema industry, it brings you millions. Well, not really. Not really. But anyway, I think I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you guys. We can do this tomorrow, and I'll try to see if I can get a new PC as well. Maybe not this month, maybe next month. I don't know. Some month to come. These are all modern buildings. Okay, let's add in. I think You know what? Let's go off here. Let's scout more at this side. Let me get the skirt thing here. I think we can add more buildings. More buildings here. Yeah, let's pull the camera back a bit. And maybe let me make camera distorted. Yeah, I'm using a very high perspective camera to be able to capture these the entire scene. Let me guess. Let's play with the colors. Okay, I think that's it. I'll actually let me first switch to cycles, sky render, sky, which is sky something. It's a sky texture with a Nishita. Yeah, Nishita. Just also get rid of the sun. Like that. Okay, I'll give this a quick render. I know I've said that a few times, but we have changed it a few times as well. Yeah, I think this angle also doesn't look too bad. Again, if you want the Roman buildings asset pack, is available on my Patreon page. And just bring up the gamma a bit. Looks cool. Yeah, thank you. Let's crash Blender one more time by switching to cycles. And it is hungry. Anyway, thank you. See you in the next live stream.